It's the grandson of Right Thought. Welcome back to the School of Marvelous Light. To be a man in America, is that a heavy burden to bear? Being a man, is it a heavy burden to bear? But especially here in America, is it a heavy burden? There's a lot of expectations that Americans put on their men. The pressure to perform. Not only to perform, but to perform well. To win. To be effective. It is indeed a lot of pressure. And under all that pressure is added pressure to not be emotional. To not show emotion. This is added pressure being an American man. Not being able to show weakness. Show vulnerability. It is inbred in the American man to not show these things, especially to women. But he has to do something with that energy. That pressure has built up. It has to go somewhere, doesn't it? And where does it go for the man? The pressure. Where's the outlet? Does he find it in his sports? Does he find it in partying, nightlife? Does he find it in fighting? Getting drunk? Who does he talk to when he's afraid? When he's not allowed to show fear? Who does he talk to when he's down and out and has hit rock bottom? Where's his support system when he's vulnerable, when he's fallen weak? I'll help you today, my brothers, if you're willing to receive it. It's when a man has crumbled underneath the pressures of life that he realizes that he himself needs a husband. That takes humility. And humility comes when that man realizes he can't lift that load anymore. And in the world he lives in, he has nowhere to put that load. Nobody can take it for him because he is indeed a man. So what does he do? There's only one place he can go, and that's to his husband, to his head. Because when a wife is afraid or vulnerable or scared, where should she turn other than her husband? In the world, who should she turn to other than her own husband? That is where you take your emotions. You lay them at the feet of your husband. That is who you take your requests to and your grievances. Take them to your husband, and you cry on his shoulder. Where you scream and you cry. And you do everything with him that this world tells you you're not allowed to do. Like cry. Like say, I can't. I can't do it. I can't make it. You tell him that. Because what did he tell you? Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden under much pressure, and I'll give you rest. Just like a good husbandman would say to the women of his house and his tribe, come unto me. I'll give you rest from your labors. I'll help you. I'll make it easy for you to do it. When a wife goes down to get some water, she has to take that stone off of the top of the well. Well, it's much easier if you let Jacob do it for you. Like those girls found out, it's much easier if you let Moses do it for you. If y'all know what I'm talking about. You see? The burden becomes easier to bear when a man lifting it for you, sister. Well, the same thing goes for you, brother. The burden becomes easier to bear when you let Yahusha lift it for you. You just got to know that you can give it to him. Since the world tells you you can't give it to them, they don't want to hear it. They don't. The world wants to hear produce. And that's all they want to hear. Produce. And when you can't produce, then you're nothing to this world. You are a forgotten thing. Even if before you were producing the most for the world. The moment you no longer can, they will cast you behind their back and look for another. That is the pressures of being a man. Not being able to let go for the fact of being discarded by the world. Not having a woman, not having a family, not having friends. That is man's greatest thorn, is to be alone. And that fear of being alone causes you to hang on to your burdens and never let them go and hand them over to Yahusha and say, Yahusha, I cannot do it. And matter of fact, I will not do it. I will give it to you because you told me that I can. You told me that it's available and I will give it to you. Now, if I give you this, you told me you would give me something. I'm giving you my part, my pain, my shortcomings, my disappointments, my tears, my fears, my struggles, my mistakes, my shame, my guilt, my lack, my failures. I pack them in a bag and I wrap it into a nice, neat knot. And I set them in your hands, Yahusha. And I extend my hands for what you told me you would give me in return, which is rest. Rest from the pressure. Rest from the judgment. Rest from the ridicule. Rest from the buffeting. That's what you told me. And I receive it because I've given you my part. But if you haven't given him your part today, brother, then how can you expect to be given the peace and the rest? How can you expect to be given it if you're not giving up your part? Got to give it up. Because it's too much. It's too much for an Israelite man to live in a Roman world and be happy and have rest. It is too much for an Israelite man to live in Egypt. That is why he must be pulled out of Egypt by the strong arm of his father. That's why. Because it is too hard labor. Read it in your book and tell me I'm making it up. It's too hard. It's that simple. This world is not designed for you, just as it would be too hard for a Roman to live in an Israelite world. So those ones that find themselves living in this world, having the comforts of this world, those men who seem to be happy, laughing, see, they shall laugh now, but they shall indeed mourn later. What choice would you rather have? Abba says, laugh now, mourn later, or mourn now, laugh later. You and I both know right now that the wise one would say, mourn now and laugh later. Let my ending be laughter, not mourning. Well, then your beginning will be mourning. Okay, well, let it be so. If that's the choice I have, I'll take that one. And the fool would say, let me laugh now. Should I mourn later? Look at Esau. Look at Jacob. See? Same thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Those are the two worlds I just described to you. The Roman and the Israelite. Abba says these two worlds are contrary to one another. As he said, there are two nations and they are, one is stronger than the other one. You see that? So that's why as an Israelite, if you call yourself an Israelite man today, you cannot dwell in the Roman world and think that you're going to be strong living as a Roman. You are weak living as a Roman. The writing is, one shall be stronger than the other. One nation shall be stronger than the other. Well, you're going to have to claim which nation you are. Are you Israel or are you Rome? The Romans believe that they're the stronger nation. We shall indeed see if that's the case in the end. Let's see if Rome will be laughing in the end, or were they laughing in the beginning and now they're going to be mourning in the end. Let's see. And let's see if Israel has been mourning and they're about to be laughing in the end. Let's see. Because that's the way it's been. And no one can deny what I'm saying is true. The Romans have been living it up and laughing. They haven't been in mourning, have they? Now, what about the Israelites? Have they been scattered to the four corners of the earth and don't have a homeland? That's called mourning. Well, what happens in the end? They get regathered into Zion, Abba says. And he shall forgive all their iniquity, he says. So it looks like we're going to be laughing in the end. So do you see why you just give it up, your Roman life up to Yahusha? Roman life is all about how you appear to somebody in the physical 3D. That's what Romans focus on. Israelites focus on how you appear to somebody in the unseen spiritual realm because we are spiritual people. If you say you're Israel, then you're saying you are the people that God named. You're taking on a people that God has named. So you're saying you're God's nation. Okay, well, then you're a spiritual person. So you have to give up the physical 3D labor in exchange for the spiritual labor, which requires much faith. When the Son of Man comes, shall he find what? What, church? Shall he find faith on the earth? So what the Son of Man looking for? Now, do y'all know what the Son of Man is? The Son of Man is the Spirit of God. It is the Word of God. So the Spirit of God, the Word of God, seeks a man to rest in so that the man can speak the Word. The Word is no good if it's not being heard and spoken, correct? You see? It has to be spoken. Well, that's why he made man's mouth. But the Son of Man don't have nowhere to rest his head, Yahusha said. That means the Spirit of the Most High Yah is searching around on earth, and it doesn't have anywhere to rest itself on. Few there be that find it. We got to come back home. That's where salvation is. It's home. Your heritage, Israel. That's why they took it from you. Called you by all kind of misnomers. Puerto Ricans. They're calling y'all Puerto Ricans now. They're calling you Haitians. They're calling you black. They're calling you Negroes. They're calling you Jamaicans. You hear this shit? They're calling you Cubans, Hondurans, Venezuelans, Chileans, Peruvians, Argentinians. They done came up with all kind of shit to call you Israelites. Why? Because the kingdom of heaven is called truth. And when you return to truth, then that's where you'll find the rest. Wait a minute. God made me to exist on a breeze, easy and light. Like he said, that's what he made me to do. I am not to be laboring and living by the sword because that's not my nation. That's that other nation that's weaker than me, that fights with a carnal sword. I don't fight with a carnal sword. I wouldn't do that. You see? And of course, unless I was instructed by Abba Yah to do that, I wouldn't seek to shed blood of the innocent, ever. You see? But that nation will do that. They don't care. They live by the sword. So guess what? They're going to die by it. It's already written, man. So don't you go living like no Roman. And you see a lot of Israelites thinking that that's their weapon. They're running, trying to get guns, bulletproof vests, thinking that's going to do something. That ain't going to do nothing but weigh you down. Abba told us what our armor is in the Word. How come you don't believe that? Hey, man, you got to be ready for anything, man. Remember when Yahusha told them to go buy a sword? Okay, where was Yahusha's sword? Did he have one? He sure did. It was inside of his mouth. Now let's prove that. When they came with weapons to take Yahusha, Peter reached forth with his sword and cut Malchus' ear off. Y'all see that? With the physical sword. Now let's see which one is more powerful, Yahusha's sword or Peter's. Peter cut an ear off. When Yahusha said, "Who do you come to take?" They said, "Yahshua of Nazareth." He said, "I am he," and they all fell down to the ground. And that happened more than one time to prove it. So if his sword knocks the whole group of men with weapons down to the ground, but Peter's sword, which is the physical sword, could only cut a man's ear off, which one do you think is more powerful? So that's all good and well if y'all seek to be like Peter and shit, fine. I seek to be like Yahusha. So I'm going to do what I see him do. That damn simple. I'm going to take my sword in my mouth. And I'm going to speak wisdom and truth to the enemy. And see if he can combat me with lies and foolishness. Let's see. You see? So I'm more powerful than the Roman is. See? Israel is stronger than Jacob because Israel has the truth. Jacob has the truth. Esau has lies. The Romans have lies. So we'll see who's stronger in the end. Truth or lies. We'll see which people are stronger. It's that simple. This is all about truth and lies. I've been trying to tell you guys that. Y'all all look at that false image of Christ and y'all have not smashed no idols down like you saw me physically do. I did it to prove what I'm saying. Faith without works is dead. I have faith that that image is false. Why? Because his word doesn't verify it. That's why. I do not read anywhere in his word that he has blonde hair. So if I see an image of a man that says he's Yahusha and he has blonde hair, that's a lie. I don't give it a pass. I don't give that shit no pass. It's a lie. If I see an image of that nigga sitting up there with brunette hair hanging all down straight and stringy, I know that's a lie because it ain't in the word. It ain't the Son of Man. I turned to see one like unto the Son of Man who had hair like white wool. That's the image of the Son of Man. So I don't know what the fuck you niggas is talking about. The Ancient of Days got the same image. So who I'm gonna believe? Now, let me see if I could just look around on earth and see if I happen to see some people that have white woolly hair. I sure do. Do they happen to have bronze colored skin as well? Yes, they do. Just like this book said the Son of Man looked like. The truth, in other words. Son of Man is the word. See? The truth. You see that? Y'all don't get it? Alright then. Act like you get it. You start to rest. You say, wait. That's value. The Son of Man is value. What do the scriptures say about the Son of Man? It says this. Well, hey, that's value. The whole world's chasing to be like this guy. Well, I must be that value because I bear the same image. What image? The image of the truth. That's what it means. The true man. There is a fake man. His name is a raw man. A raw man is a fake man. He's not real. He's not a man. He only has parts of what a man has. He has pieces. He doesn't have the full puzzle. He has pieces. Tell me I'm lying to you. If you take one stronger than the other one, okay, let's get down to science with it then, since y'all love science so much. An Israelite and a Roman, you put them next to each other. Which one has the dominant traits physically and which one has the recessive traits? See? See? It's just that simple. It's not even about feelings. It's just that's the truth. And see, once you know that, then you start to embrace the shit, man. You just do. There's a reason why the world is going to be cleaving onto the house of Judah in the end days. Now, does the Bible say that? Do it say it? Well, let's just see. That way ain't nobody gonna have no excuse and see if it said it or not. Isaiah 14. Anybody that want to read it, I'll give you a second to find it for yourself. Isaiah chapter 14. You're going to start at verse 1. For Abiyah will have mercy on Yaakov and will yet choose Israel. Do you see that? So in the end, when Abiyah destroys the world, who is he going to have mercy on? The same people he's always had mercy on. Israel and Yaakov, which are one. And set them in their own land. See? So what people on the earth don't have their own land? Well, God says the Israelites. Now you look in your own 3D world. What people in the world don't have their own land? Would it be the woolly-headed, melanated people? You see how it's never lying? It's always going to line up with the truth. You see? So Abiyah is going to set them in their own land. And the strangers, see the other nations that are not Israel, will be joined with them. And they shall cleave to the house of Yaakov. Did you hear that or not? So did I lie to you? Now, if you just read that they're going to cleave to the house of Yaakov, then shouldn't you be wondering in the end times, who is the house of Yaakov? Israel. Who are those people that those strangers are going to cleave to? There's a nation of people on the earth, obviously, that God was going to have mercy on and that the other nations will cleave to. Now, if we deny who the Israelites are, then how are we going to cleave to them? See how the truth has to prevail? Y'all can deny the woolly-headed, melanated people of the earth all you want. You're going to submit. That's what this is saying here. Let's continue to read it. Verse 2. And the people, Israel, Yaakov, shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Abiyah, their homeland, see, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So then the same house of Israel that they're going to be cleaving onto, the strangers, this same people was oppressed and in captivity. Does this line up with the Negroes again? You see what I'm trying to explain to you? So do you see why it's been hard for all men, not just so-called black men, all men to live in this world that's designed by Romans? Don't you see why they all having the same struggle? Don't y'all see it? They all having the same pressure. You can't be emotional. They got to perform. They got to win. They got to this and they got to that. And they got to make money. And they got to be making a whole lot of money. And see? Everybody thinks that sucks now. Everybody does. Every nation thinks this shit is getting whack as fuck doing this shit. Yep. Because y'all won't let the true kings rule. Y'all think blonde-haired, blue-eyed people are kings. They're not. They're not. That's why you're stressed and unhappy. That's all it is. Isn't it obvious? See? That's why y'all gonna cleave to the true kings. It just said you is. And it says that we're going to take you and make you servants. and take captive. That's what it says. Let's see. Let's see. Remember I said if you give him, watch this. Watch how Abba brings this all together. I didn't even know we were going to read this, but here we are. Remember how I said if you give Christ your burdens, he will give you something in return. And what will that be he'll give you in return? Say it. Rest. Let's see. Verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that Abba Yah shall give thee rest. How did we start this message? Rest from what? What did I tell you? Rest from fear. Rest from your doubts, rest from your misconceptions, your shame, your guilt. See, let's read this. And it shall come to pass in the day that Abba Yah shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. You hear this? That you shall take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Abba Yah hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. You see this? He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, Rome, is persecuted and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest. Do you see what I've been telling you? It's because that Roman has been ruling the world that the whole world is in sorrow. He ruled the world with a continual stroke of anger. That's what it says. Red, always mad and angry. Anger, red, pissed off. What does Edom mean? It means red. The Edom's head family, Rothschild, means red's child. Guys, they're telling you. You just got to have wisdom today and let knowledge increase in you so you're not destroyed anymore. The whole earth is at rest, verse 7, and is quiet, and they break forth into singing. See that? You see that? Even the trees began to sing and rejoice at thee, it says. And the cedars of Lebanon sang, since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us. The trees ain't being cut down no more because the Romans ain't ruling no more. See? Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. Hell came up, that lake of fire came up for red. That's who it came up for, Romans. See? It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Put them down, see? So that the true kings can rise up. So be emboldened today, men, in the truth, and give up those lies. Silawam Israel.